Welcome to Say Yes to Chocolate, the podcast where better is the goal, not perfect.
We're your hosts, Dr. Becky and Sara B, bringing you simple, science-backed wellness with a side of real life and a sprinkle of chocolate love, because balance should taste like joy.
If you're ready to simplify your health and thrive in your 40s, 50s, and beyond, you're in the right place. Let's do this.
Dr. Becky, do you ever days where you're just like off? You feel like roller coaster, you're brain foggy, you're cranky, you're just off.
All over the place. Sometimes
then,
you just can't focus, yeah.
When it's time to go to bed, you can't because you're just wide awake.
Yes.
Your mood and your energy are just all over the place. It's like they're running the show.
For sure.
And so, I mean, could it be hormones? What can that be? What is causing this?
Could it be hormones? You know, I hear that from people all the time. Is it my hormones? Is it just aging? Is it I'm just tired and I'm just exhausted all the time and I'm never going to get my energy back? I think probably one of the biggest missing pieces to that is actually related to diet, and specifically protein in the diet, and especially for women. And I think especially as we get older and our protein needs actually become more and more important.
Yeah.
So I think that's the missing piece.
Yeah, I can see that. So a long time ago, when we start working together, as well as my chiropractor and functional medicine doctor,
yes,
my breakfast really was carbs, right? Like I was peanut butter toast every day. Like this is what I was raised on, with Swiss Miss hot chocolate
to start your day.
Yes. And then as I got older, it was replaced by coffee, a lot of coffee.
Yes.
And then maybe for lunch, I maybe would have a small salad. But then by dinner time, I would be starving. And also being married to a farmer, we don't always eat at a normal time. And so then I would just want to snack on everything I possibly could find.
Yeah, and probably lacking in energy too, which also goes into the willpower of snacking, right? Because then you're starving, your willpower is down, you don't have any energy, you don't want to cook a meal. And so it starts to just become this snowball. And I can totally relate as a kid and even as a mom raising kids, because we were raised on cereal. I mean, I remember the Lucky Charms.
Yep, absolutely. Captain Crunch, peanut butter Captain Crunch.
Yeah, peanut Captain Crunch berries. Absolutely. Yes. I think that's the standard American breakfast now is primarily carbs. I mean, we have donuts, we have bagels, we have cereal, we have even oatmeal. Oatmeal can be made into a good breakfast if you add a protein, fat, and fiber source to it. But I think you're exactly right. And the thing about how you start your day becomes so important on so many levels, because it also creates kind of a cascade of foods that sound good for the whole rest of the day. And it very much will impact the choices that you make for the rest of your meals based on how you started your day.
Yeah, that makes complete sense. Actually, I was just talking to somebody this week who it was an off day for her, right? Like she's overall really healthy, but that day she ended up starting it with a treat at work. So a cookie and a Rice Krispie bar. And then the rest of the day just spiraled, right? Because it's like, well, if I'm already having this cheat day, I had these two things, sweets, I might as well continue on the sweet train. Absolutely. And by the time I saw her at 5:30, the crash was real. The exhaustion was real. And her body was really like, please just give me something good. You know,
they've been running on jet fuel all day, and that jet fuel had completely spiraled out of control and left her crashing.
Yep. And we've both experienced that as well. This isn't anything most of us have. How does protein help with that? What's the science behind why protein is so good for our body?
Yeah. All right. So let's get into it. I'm going to give just a little bit of a kind of geeky, nerdy, sciencey, explain what proteins actually are. So in our food supply, we have things that are called macronutrients, which is where most of our calories or energy comes from. And then we have things that are called micronutrients, and that's where most of our nutrition, vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, all of that kind of stuff come from. So for today's episode, we're going to focus on macronutrients. And that is, like I said, where it's the energy sources, what our bodies can break those down and convert that into energy for our cells. And energy converts into the ability to focus and brain fog and all of that kind of stuff. So we have three primary macronutrients, and they are protein, fats, and carbohydrates. So proteins, fats, and carbohydrates are then broken down into calories. Body then utilizes those for energy to burn. Protein is broken down into what we call amino acids. And amino acids become building blocks for the body to build stuff. Okay. It's the easiest way to think about protein. So protein is pivotal in anything in the body that needs to be built or made. Protein is important for muscle mass. I think everybody correlates protein with muscles, and it absolutely is. It's also essential for bone strength and quality. if you want to know more about that, episodes 2, 3, and 4, we talked all about bone health, bone density, and bone quality. So go back and take a listen on those. But then it also is pivotal on making your skin, your hair, your nails. Collagen is a protein source, although collagen is not a complete protein, so we don't include that in the protein count for the day. But then protein is also vitally important for the body to be able to make hormones. So without proteins, the body cannot efficiently make good quality hormones. So if you're under eating on protein, which a lot of women are, you're going to have a huge impact on cortisol, insulin, all of the sex hormones, estrogen, progesterone, testosterone, and even the neurotransmitter hormones in the brain, which is serotonin, dopamine, melatonin for sleep. You're going to have an alteration in all of those. So it affects all of the body systems that those hormones talk to.
Wow.
So everything from mood all the way to bone strength. Everything is affected when you're under eating on your protein.
Yeah. And does protein help with anything else, any other body systems, like your insulin or blood sugar, anything of that nature?
And the primary reason that it does, there's this really cool thing about protein that is directly linked to your metabolism. So if you're getting older and you're noticing that your metabolism is slowing down and you're gaining weight, especially belly fat or weight around your middle, protein can help a great deal with that, because protein per calorie, remember we had said earlier that protein, fats, and carbs are broken down into calories. Protein per calorie requires more energy from the body to break down than fats and carbs. So fats and carbs are easier for the body to break down into energy. Okay. So the more protein you eat, the harder your body has to work to extract those calories, which boosts your metabolic rate, boosts your metabolism. So literally just by eating protein, you're going to increase your metabolism. And it's actually called the thermogenic effect of protein. So it's really cool. So really you can literally, by eating, boost your metabolism.
So I've noticed when I've increased my protein, because we've been on this journey for a while now, it's both of us increasing our protein, is that I actually am hungry less. My hunger is less. I feel fuller longer. What's happening?
Right. So you are, because of that thermogenic effect of protein, because it is harder for your body to break protein down. It also takes longer for your body to break protein down. So you are fuller for longer. Protein also provides more energy per bulk, I guess, if you will. Fat actually provides the most energy per bulk. There's actually 9 calories in 1 gram of fat, if we really want to get into the nitty gritty. But protein, because of the thermogenic effect and then also the bulk of the amount of stomach bulk, it does keep you fuller longer.
Sure. Essentially, protein is like that backstage manager, right? Nothing else is working as well if we don't have that protein in the background doing what it needs to do.
Absolutely. And then even to your point about keeping you fuller longer, it physically does. But the other thing that protein does, because it has a direct effect on hormone production, protein also is directly tied with building your satiety hormones and your hunger hormones. So you get satisfied longer, so your brain also is more satisfied. Sure. There's less cravings.
Your brain also just feels like it's safe.
Feels like it's safe, feels like it's been fed.
System and everything that's been fed, and it's okay.
Yep. So less cravings as well.
Really powerful. Really.
It's huge. Right? It's huge.
Which I love that we went through the science of it, because I think otherwise it's like, it's another chore of having to eat protein, but understanding it's doing so much within us.
And not only that, so then when you're eating your protein, you know exactly what's going on inside your physiology and your biology, exactly what's going on, why it's so good for you.
So let's talk real talk. Let's talk about how we're going to do this practically, because that's what we're all about.
Yep.
So I have a couple questions. One is, how much protein do women actually need? Because online, the numbers are all over the place. You can read different books, different things. And then also, what are some practical steps to get us there?
Okay, your first question. How much protein do women actually need? I'm going to answer this in 2 ways. Ideally, in a perfect world, you need about 1 gram of protein per pound of ideal body weight. Okay? Ideal body weight, not current body weight. So if you weigh 180 pounds, but ideally you should be 140, 150, it's going to be your ideal.
That'd be like 140 to 150 grams a day.
Exactly.
Yes.
It's a lot of protein. And if you're not accustomed to eating protein, it can be really difficult to hit that target. So let's talk realistically, where can you get health benefits and still maintain and sustain the increase in your daily life? And that rides right around 100 grams of protein a day.
Okay.
So if you can try to hit minimum 100 grams of protein a day, upwards of 140 to 150, you're going to be right in that perfect healthy range.
Perfect.
Answer your second question. How are we going to get 100 grams of protein a day?
Right.
Because if you're not accustomed to eating protein, it can be
That's
a lot.
a lot. That's a big jump to start, right?
So again, we're going to cover this from a few different angles because I'm going to break it out through a schedule for the day, but then we're also going to break out what foods are protein because a lot of people don't know that either.
Yeah.
We need 3 meals a day. And if you're not a breakfast eater, you need to start eating breakfast. And I'm going to start with breakfast because it is the foundational and the pivotal meal of your day. It is the first signal to your body that it's time to rev up and function for the day. You need to be fueling your body first thing in the morning, ideally with protein before anything else, and that includes coffee. The only thing that should come first would be water, rehydrating yourself after not having anything for 8 or 10 or 12 hours. And a lot of people are like, I cannot sit down and eat eggs and sausage and bacon and steak and eggs for breakfast every day. Totally fine. If we can hit anywhere from 20 to 30, 40 grams of protein would be even better, but 20 to 30 grams of protein first thing in the morning, you're going to already set your body up for that craving cycle and that fueled and feeling full cycle for the whole rest of the day. You're also going to stimulate all of your hormones to be produced. So you're going to wake up, you're going to be in a better mood, you're going to avoid that brain foggy and that kind of stuff. So 3 meals a day, starting with breakfast. If we can get 20 to 30 to 40-ish grams, you're going to hit that 100 grams of protein by the end of the day.
Yeah.
And even if you don't do the 20 to 30 in each meal, if you then incorporate 1 or 2 snacks in between that are protein snacks, you can hit it pretty easily. One easy way, and I'm going to start with breakfast because I know breakfast is challenging for a lot of people. There's a lot of women that just don't like breakfast, or we've spent our whole life not eating breakfast, or we eat a piece of toast.
Yes.
One of the easiest ways is to incorporate like a protein powder into your breakfast. And for me, I do that through a smoothie. My husband actually does like a protein coffee. So he'll take about a half a scoop of a protein powder, froth it up or mix it up with milk, and he uses that as his creamer in his coffee. I do that occasionally as well, but 1 scoop of protein powder is 20 grams of protein. And then for me in my smoothie, I also add about a half a cup of yogurt. And it's Greek yogurt, and Greek yogurt is a huge source of protein if you're not dairy sensitive. Sarah, of course, can't have Greek yogurt.
No.
She's dairy free. So she'll talk about some ideas that she has done for her own self, but that's a really easy way. And then for lunch, if you just think about making your protein source the first priority. So when you're thinking about what sounds good for lunch or what sounds good for supper, let's actually change that rhetoric and say, what is a protein source that sounds good? So if you're craving a salad, great,
Awesome.
Totally fine, but we're going to add some protein sources to that. So maybe we're going to add some diced up chicken breast and a hard-boiled egg and some cheese, sprinkle on some chia seeds, and before you know it, with all of those things, you're at 30 to 40 grams of protein right there.
Yep. Or some beans. Those
Absolutely.
are pinto beans, would work too. So.
Absolutely. And then same thing for supper. Just make your protein choice the first priority, and then you build a plate from there. Those are my best tips.
And I actually do use, because I do a protein powder shake as well. That's actually worked the best for me. For breakfast, I add a little bit of PB2. And maybe sometimes I do a little bit more of a full scoop as well.
Yes.
But I just build that up a little bit more.
And you use the peanut butter powder.
Yep, the peanut butter powder.
Versus peanut butter.
Right, because you get less calories and more protein. And also it's easier to clean in your blender.
Way easier.
From a practical standpoint.
That I think matters to all of us, right?
Yeah.
Nobody wants to spend their time cleaning up.
No, it just makes it go that much simpler.
Then let's talk about like different sources of protein.
Yes.
Obviously meats, any kind of red meat, chicken, pork, venison. Venison is actually probably one of the biggest concentrations, but it's harder to find.
Yep.
Fish, salmon is actually wonderful for you because of the omega-3 fatty acids that are in it.
And it's a good amount of protein.
And it's a very
it's
concentrated.
Because of that fat too.
If you love fish, salmon is wonderful for you. But some other sources, if you're not a big meat eater or just for variety, beans, lentils. Beans and lentils have a ton of protein in them. They're protein concentrated. Yeah. Protein powders, and we'll link our favorite protein powder down below. If you are dairy sensitive, a lot of protein powders are whey based. Or if you are wanting more of a vegetarian or a bean based protein powder, those can be a little bit difficult to find because a lot of our pea proteins and lentil based proteins are not complete protein powders, so you're not getting the complete amino acid profile. And then there's a lot of protein powders that have heavy metals in them and a lot of garbage and a lot of junk. So our favorite that mixes well and tastes great and doesn't taste like that icky,
It doesn't give
chalky.
you that grittiness at all.
Yeah. We'll link down below.
Yep.
And then it comes in a ton of flavors as well. So moving on from that though, any kind of Greek yogurt, just watch the sugars. In Greek yogurt, the less processed it is, the better. My favorite brand of Greek yogurt, my girls eat a ton of it, is Oikos, and we get the 20 gram. My oldest daughter also loves just plain Greek yogurt, and she loves the Fage brand, F-A-G-E. It's called Fage, but it's spelled that way. Cottage cheese, edamame, hard-boiled eggs, or just eggs in general are all great options. Egg whites have a ton of protein.
Yes.
But the yolk is gone, so a lot of the nutrient concentration from eggs is not found in egg whites. But if you do need just a boost of protein, egg whites is a really great option as well.
So there's really no reason not to start adding it.
No excuses.
Yes.
There's always a way. And now that you know the importance of protein, especially as we get older, it's just something that needs to become a priority.
Yeah. I always like to tell people practically how to start.
Yes.
Is like maybe take a day or two, or if you just know like a lot of people eat the same foods, and write it down. You can Google and know a base of where you're starting, because it's a lot easier to be like, oh, well, I'm already getting 60 or 80 grams. Yeah. So it's a lot easier to be like, oh, I can easily add 20 or 40, but throughout my day, right?
Absolutely.
Like that's an easier way to break that down.
So just take the first few days here and do some label reading and get just a guesstimate of what an average day looks like for you. And again, if you are somebody that's only getting 30 or 40 grams of protein, or you just have a really carb heavy diet and don't have a lot of protein at all, then we're not going to jump and try to hit 100 grams tomorrow.
Right.
You know, first of all, the other thing about jumping like that, because protein tends to be a little bit more difficult to break down, you can get a little bit of tummy upset.
Yeah. You
can also get some gassiness. If you do get an upset stomach, just a heads up, I don't want you to be concerned about that. It will go away, but it's just because the body's having to work harder. And making your body work harder isn't a bad thing. No. But the best way to start is to know where you're starting from and then start to incorporate little baby steps. Maybe if you are right around that 30, 40 grams, then add a scoop of protein powder to a smoothie in the morning and a meat stick or a hard-boiled egg for a snack in the afternoon. Yeah. And you've just added 20 to 30 grams of protein. Easily. Yep. Or look at your yogurt source, and if it's not Greek yogurt, switch to Greek yogurt, and you can easily get an additional 15 to 20 grams of protein just from that switch.
All right. That's it. That's what we have for today. Let's go ahead and prioritize that protein from breakfast through dinner or supper, depending on what you call it. It's one of the simplest things you can do to be able to stabilize your energy, your mood, and your metabolism.
Absolutely. A lot of bang for very little effort. And this is just one of the 7 habits that we talk about in our brand new guide that is free for you to download. It's called The 7 Simple and Easy Habits That Have Literally Changed Our Lives. Distilled it down to the 7 that have made the biggest impact, but have also been the easiest to incorporate. And this is number 3.
Yep. And you can grab that at Dr. Becky Online /easy habits. The link will also be in the show notes. Until then, say yes to chocolate and to simple and sustainable habits.
Stay tuned for some behind-the-scenes bloopers.
Are we recording?
So you tell me whenever you're ready to start.
Okay, are you done dancing?
Why is that so funny to me? You were like so mom-like. Are you done dancing? Like we're in church.
Are you done yet?
Oh my God, that was so funny.
That was so last week.
That was so funny to me. Okay, now I'm all...
Come down. There, that's better, because now you can see my face. But not my double chin.
See, and you're still with the mic. You're fine.
I know. The mic and I are not friends. Yeah. Okay. I had it in my head, and then I got distracted by your dancing that you weren't doing this time. I just remember the video. Thanks for hanging out with us on Say Yes to Chocolate.
If today's episode gave you a win, something to think about, or even just a smile, we'd love it if you'd subscribe, rate, and share it with a friend.
Want more? Join our email newsletter so you don't miss a beat, and come find us on all the social channels at Say Yes to Chocolate Podcast for all the quick hints and tips.
And don't forget, you can always send us your questions or episode ideas. We love hearing from you.
Until next time, keep it simple, stay curious, and always say yes to chocolate.